You want to have the bottoms up support and the eagerness to go learn, but you also need the top down support to go do and have that creativity.
Lenore, Bryan, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. Bryan, we often assume that tech companies are leading the way when it comes to AI and agentic adoption. Is that true? What's the reality?
So yes, I believe it's true. I do think outside of the big companies, we're actually starting to see a number of startups and late stage startups actually be built agentic first. So companies like Lovable, Hospitable have been led by agent first operating models and resource models. But I also think there's cautionary tales that organizations that are starting agentic first are actually having to add headcount back, right? Which is not necessarily disagreeing with agentic. It just means the best technology is when human meets technology.
Lenore, for you, Salesforce has not only advised clients on how to adopt AI and agentic, but you've also been on that journey yourself. What are the best lessons you've learned from your own experience as well as advising clients?
Yeah, I really think adoption is critical for success and measuring that adoption. So as an example, in my revenue organization, we have 96.4% of adoption of Slackbot. That's tremendous. There's no brute force that would get those results. That's curiosity, that's organic, and that's actually real value coming from Slackbot as a solution.
In terms of the promise of the technology, we've been talking about it for years. How far has it actually come? I mean, in terms of meaningful real world uses, where is the technology still not quite working?
I think it's working in most places that you have dedicated both leadership and investment with resources that have learning and accountability associated to it. When you separate those things away, I think the benefit ratio starts to go down. I think where organizations still need to accelerate their learning curve is that agentic still is a plausibility engine, a reasoning engine that needs humans to make that reasoning correct and accurate. So I think that learning curve, when I say learning and accountability, is something organizations are fundamentally learning slower on bigger companies. Smaller companies are much more rapidly picking that up.
Lenore, would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. And just to echo Bryan, I think sales, service, marketing, engineering, et cetera, we have use cases across all. I think from a Salesforce perspective, certainly sales and service, we're seeing the highest amount of adoption and success. But I also think it's because we've gone from tinkering to proof of concepts to real live production, high value use cases. And when you get one of those, not many, start with one, that's when we're really starting to see rapid success.
And for companies outside the tech sector who are looking to the tech sector to understand how your journeys have played out, what is the bit of advice you would give them?
Well, one, it is a journey. And so step by step, I don't think all of everyone's problems are going to be solved overnight, but you have to start somewhere. And again, Bryan said it very well. You want to have the bottoms up support and the eagerness to go learn, but you also need the top down support to go do and have that creativity.
Bryan?
So the Glean Institute came out with one of their studies that said agentic adoption isn't a tops-down remit. It's actually a peer-to-peer, right? Look left, look right. How is it working for you? I think the marketing and the buzz has done such a good job of getting the concept of using these agentic tools out in the market that it's actually created a burden for corporations to figure out how to meet feature parity. And I think that type of learning curve is where organizations have to continue to run towards. And I don't see that being a tech industry focus. I see that being across every single industry.
Bryan, Lenore, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.